Uncaptured Red War Hero. Michael, regarding Monday's story about how dangerous Trump's politics are, do you think they're dangerous because it makes him more electable, or they are worse policies? The comparison you made between Trump and far-right European parties is interesting, and I'd like to hear more about it.
Well, I don't think they're worse policies in some ways. We've talked about how Trump probably doesn't have the worst policies, but I think when you start to fuse the xenophobia with some actual positions that are somewhat appealing to people, you do start to get more into that European formula, and I think that is a little bit dangerous.
I don't think that he can win.
No, he's not going to win.
No.
I'm just saying that the constituency he's activating.
The nomination, per se. But
yeah, but the constituency he's activating. I'm trying to say that now, and I know Jeep came on and complicated it, but if in the past the Republicans had a completely BS, non-existent populism, like the Tea Party was so-called populist, but it was ludicrous. It was just Republican, economic dogma with social nonsense and reaction against Obama. But when you start to have a guy who says, like, yeah, actually, rich people should pay more taxes, you should get jobs.
You went
These
after
trade
the hedge
deals,
funds, yeah.
Went after the hedge funds. You start to create, I won't cut Social Security. That's a much more potent brew. And in that sense, it's a little bit more politically disturbing.
I don't even think, it seems to me, that, I don't know that how much calculation goes into his policies, frankly, because I think one thing that I think he's realized is that they don't care. One way or another, that 25% of the Republican Party doesn't give a lick about what policy. Tomorrow he could flip again. He's got to hit some buttons, but look at the freak out about testing on aborted fetuses and embryos. Right. And Ben Carson actually did that testing on those. I don't care. He didn't. He's just on the receiving end of it. And of course, they put out another video, I think, the other day of someone who is supposedly basically one of those people who buys the samples to give to the Ben Carsons of the world. And I don't think there was anything wrong with him doing it, but theoretically his supporters would care. They don't care. So it really doesn't matter. I almost think that half of that stuff that Trump says is he's just very smart from, he has a very sharp, I think, political mind. And it's like he's just basically challenging, come at me. Yeah. Come at me for saying I'm going to protect Social Security. Come at me and say hedge funders should keep their tax cuts. He's challenging them. And they're not rising to the bait. Because they're just so afraid of him. It is...
Wasn't it the other, just the small aspect of this? There's the big stories that he's the best Republican candidate, appealing nakedly to xenophobia, all that stuff. But then there's also just a part that he's just better.
Yep.
He's just a better performer. He's a better media personality. He's a better, at every, Jeb Bush.
Oh, he's a better candidate, but it's also he is the perfect, let me put it this way. He's not just the better candidate, because that's too general. He is the better candidate for the Republican primary.
Right.
Because when he has to get on a stage with someone who's actually going to be able to argue policy with him.
Oh, he'll fold. He'll fold. Or he'll tantrum, more likely.
I think he'll never be in this position. I don't think he'll ever get into a debate. I think that he will just look bad.
Right.
To the majority of the audience.